Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Force Feed. Today is Tuesday, November 22nd, 2011. I am your host Force, and let's just get right into today's gaming news. Activision has proudly announced today that they have got 1 million paid users for the Call of Duty Elite Premium service. Now, as we have discussed earlier, Call of Duty Elite has been seeing major issues since its launch, basically not working for a majority of the player base, unless you are a premium user. Yes, that is correct. There is a priority on premium users in terms of getting the service up and running. If you have got a paid premium account for Call of Duty Elite, then you have access to it. If you don't have a paid account, you cannot use it. That is just the way it is right now. The more cynical of mind may go about thinking that this was all a clever marketing ploy, saying, hey, Call of Duty Elite doesn't work unless you pay for it, so why don't you pay for it and we'll take all your monies. Now, I personally don't feel that way, but I don't know, it's kind of interesting that the service doesn't really work unless you paid for it, and then today they're like, hey, a ton of people are paying, go figure. Who would have thought that would have happened? Max Payne 3 will be seeing a pre-order bonus in the form of early access to a multiplayer map. Now, there are all sorts of pre-order bonuses that come with many releases of games, and this is one of the least devastating versions of one. Pre-order bonuses in general can be kind of a finicky issue. I personally have a problem with pre-order bonuses that allow you to get access to things that otherwise are not available, such as weapons in the game, or certain skins or stuff like that, things that you have no other access to. Pre-order bonuses that give you early access to things, such as what is going to be available in Max Payne 3, I'm okay with. But again, this is going to raise the issue of pre-order bonuses, whether or not it is a good thing, especially when it grants access to things that are otherwise unavailable. I think that's ridiculous. Max Payne 3 pre-order DLC, great, fantastic, that's fine, no problem with that. Other pre-order bonuses that again give you access to things otherwise unavailable, not good, not happy with. Let me know what you guys think below. A recent teaser trailer of Bioware's next major project was released today. In it, we get a sneak peek of a brand new universe, something never seen before. It is going to be modern combat with tanks and explosions and guns. I've had enough of this. Alright, it does look like the next Bioware project is going to be set in modern combat. There are, again, a little sneak peek. It's only about a couple of seconds that they actually show, but it's tanks and explosions and more stuff that I don't really care about. Yeah, I'm all for modern combat in games, but I think it's just been beaten to death at this point. You know, we look at Call of Duty and Battlefield and pretty much every other shooter that comes out. But I'm going to keep my hopes high, especially when it comes to Bioware, with the exception of some of the Dragon Age sequels having some major faux pas. Besides that, Bioware typically doesn't impress me with their games, and I have enjoyed a majority of what they have released. So I'm going to hope that we are not going to be seeing your typical first-person shooter. What about you guys? Are you tired of modern combat games? Do we want new universes to explore? Because just shooting more tanks and firing more guns is kind of getting old. Let me know below. Square Enix has announced that they are hoping to follow the likes of Call of Duty, Battlefield, and Assassin's Creed when it comes to their Final Fantasy series, meaning specifically that they are hoping to release a new game every year or two. Facepalm. This is something we just talked about yesterday, and I'm kind of tired of these consistent releases just for the sake of releasing them. I certainly understand that as a business, these developers want to make money. They want to be able to consistently produce a product that is going to get accepted and bought by their user base, by their community, by their fans. But it's just sometimes there's too much, and once every year that's a bit overreaching. I personally feel like. Now I will go ahead and amend what I said yesterday in the fact that I think that sequels, when they go too far, that's it. I don't mind sequels every year or every 2 years, every 3 years, as long as they're good. But if you're releasing crap constantly, no bueno, and I appreciate you just holding back on that and releasing a quality product. Now, if Square Enix does want to go along the route of releasing a new Final Fantasy every year or two, that's fine. I'm okay with that. Just make sure it's a good game. Make sure you don't butcher the story. I do understand. I personally don't play a lot of Final Fantasy, but I understand that it's not so story-driven, and that's okay. And also, I mentioned Mario yesterday, and that's not a big deal because, again, it's not as story-driven. There isn't one major arc. My major issue with sequels is when you've got one major storyline and they just release another one and they add some more story that doesn't make sense with the first iteration or the second iteration or the third iteration. And then they add more and then just throw stuff up and then they screw up all the lore or everything like that. That's when I think there's a problem with it. That's when I do think they ruined the franchise. Hopefully Square Enix does it right. Hopefully they don't destroy Final Fantasy, release a new game every year as long as it isn't garbage. I'm okay with that. And of course we are going to wrap up today's episode with a question of the day. Today I want to know, what are you guys going to purchase this week? It is the week of Black Friday. There are some crazy amazing deals. Will you be getting a new system, Xbox, PS3, or Wii? Will you be purchasing a ton of new games? There are tons of deals available, and I would like to know what you guys plan to do. Or will you be saving up all your money and buying a whole bunch of, I don't know, something? That's creepy. Alright guys, that's going to do it. Thank you so much for watching. As always, if you like the content, please subscribe. Stay tuned tomorrow for another episode of the Force Feed, where we'll be keeping you up to date on all recent gaming news and announcements. Once again, this has been Force, and you have just been force fed.